time to get real and honest with you. This last year has been very difficult. And having this conversation with you today is actually very hard. Over the last 12 months, I purposefully gained 10 kilograms. I went from 65 kgs to basically 75 kgs. And why is that? In the field I work in, dietetics, psychology, all these things, the moment I tell people what I do, the first thing they look at, what's my body weight? What's my size? I get judged by how I look. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. But for too many years, I was hiding behind that. Hiding a little shadow of mine, that little shadow inside telling me, you know what, you can't eat this, you can't eat this. You need to be a certain body weight. You can't gain any weight because people are going to judge you. You need to look a certain way. And yes, that's why I hovered 64, 65 kgs. I was underweight. And to top it off, I'm an ultra runner. So I mastered even more. My running was the thing I had to be so lean for. And then I'm a dietitian. I have to be a certain body weight to fit in, to look a certain way. And the psychological toll for me on that, it was hard. It's got to that point where I had to overthink and think about everything. I questioned everything, constantly aware of my body weight and how I look. It got to the point where it's the only thing I can think of, that whole little shadow being fed. Don't eat this, you need to look like this. And yes, this last 12 months, it's been very difficult. I feel fat. I feel unhealthy. Yet again, in all metrics, I am not. And that's what we call body dysmorphia. The person I see in the mirror is fat and overweight. I feel uncomfortable in my own skin. And the reason I'm sharing this with all of you, we don't talk enough about eating disorders. The mental draining and torture and suffering that goes with this whole needing to look a certain way, needing to be a certain weight, and that little scale, that devil with the batteries becoming your master, where you question every calorie, you measure everything. That's not living, that's existing. That's why, over the past 12 months, I took the challenge to gain 10 kilograms. I barely ran. I took 12 months of gaining weight, going to the gym, building muscles, actually working on my physical health, my longevity, because a big thing we don't get. Just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. And sometimes just because you're overweight doesn't mean you're unhealthy. Metabolic health, muscular health, bone density, mental health, all these things matter. And going from 118 kilograms to 65 was amazing. I never want to go back to that fat person, the one that got teased, the one that got picked last for sports teams, the one that was fat, that got labeled as fat. However, being underweight is just as bad. And for many of you that watch this, that's ever been there, having a form of disordered eating is the same as, a lot of times, alcohol abuse, substance abuse, gambling. Eating disorders is the second leading cause of deaths behind opioid addictions. And I'm opening up today about this. Maybe this isn't the video all of you want to see, but this is a video I had to make. We can't always be slaves to food. Us that are overweight, we always want to lose weight at all costs. And then we have some of us that are so underweight, we can't afford to gain weight. Our world is going to shatter. Since when did we become slaves to food? Since when did we become slave to that perfect body image? That isn't living, that's existing. That's why I'm sharing this video with all of you today. I'm going to start sharing more and actually understanding disordered eating and eating disorders and the psychology of food, because in fact 90% of the people I work with in my private practice are eating disorder patients, and the reason I work with them is because it's something I personally battle with. It's something I personally struggle with. And you know what? I want to break that old mold. We don't talk about this. I've worked with people, they're alcoholics, gambling addicts, cocaine addicts, everything, but the one thing they will never share, a little deep down shadow, a little deep down secret, is I have an eating disorder. If you think of Lord of the Rings, Gollum with his little ring, my precious, that's how many of us feel about an eating disorder. And you know what? We get praised. The more weight we lose, the more we get praised for it, the more it feeds into that shadow. So, no. I've gained 10 kilograms over the last 12 months. It has been hard as fuck for me. And I feel as fat. I feel uncomfortable in my skin. But it was a journey I had to take. However, now it's time. I want to lose some weight. Yes, blasphemy. I want to go from 75 to a healthy 68 to a BMI of around 22. What I'm going to do to make sure I keep walking the line here in a healthy way. Every week, I'm going to give an update. Go follow me on Instagram. I'll be sharing daily updates on this journey. I would actually show you what it takes to lose weight in a healthy way without going on a crash diet, without restricting yourself, but doing it in a manner that's actually sustainable and healthy. Because you can lose weight healthily or you can lose weight very unhealthily. I want to do it in a more holistic manner. The things I've been doing with many of my patients over the many years and keeping my own little secret and feeding my own shadow. Because what I do, I get judged by how I look. I need to make peace with that. But I also need to take care of my own health. I've got a family to take care of. So I encourage you, if you know anybody that struggles with an eating disorder or disordered eating, even if it's you, don't be shy to reach out to me. Send me a DM. Let's get talking more about this and stop stigmatizing it. And join me for the journey. Losing around, 6 to 7 kilograms in a healthy way. And I'm not going to starve myself. Let's stop stigmatizing this and let's actually stop breaking this mold of what perfect health should look like. Yes, there's unhealthy overweight, there's unhealthy underweight. Let's find balance and stop being slaves to food. This is something you're more interested in? Drop me a comment down below and would really appreciate a subscribe to this video. And as always, be 1% better than you were yesterday.